That is right, my massive Star Wars piece will debut at Alamo City Comic Con in 2017. It's an 8-part piece, each one representing one of the Star Wars movies that has come out. The date for Alamo City Comic Con has changed. Memorial Day weekend, May 26th to 28th, 2017. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna go sleepless nights. I'm gonna work the hardest I've ever worked in my life to get this piece done for Alamo City Comic Con. I'm back, and I'm looking in the camera. One thing I keep telling my students, and I always ask them this question, and it's an age-old question, and some of you might have heard this already. It's the question, how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? And the answer to that question is, one bite at a time. One bite at a time. What does that mean? Whenever you have a mountainous project, and something like I'm doing, like something that seems like impossible to do, the only way to get it done is to get it done piece by piece. The same way you would eat an elephant, piece by piece. So the only way I could possibly get this done is by scheduling it out. And the way it worked out is, for the chance for it to be colored, I actually need to complete a piece every 2 weeks. Now the first piece that I completed, which by the way I got a lot of great feedback for, actually on Facebook I got a ton of views on it. I think about over 400,000 views on that particular piece, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to thank everyone on Facebook for viewing that video, and for every one of you who viewed the video on this particular channel. But that particular New Hope piece, that roughly took about a month. But to be honest, I would say I did roughly around 2 boards per week. Two boards per week, and that worked for me because the rest of the time I was doing the live streams, I was doing all that other stuff. So I actually have to cut a lot of that stuff out in order to make enough time to work on this particular piece. Really, I have to get 4 pages done a week. And honestly, it's back to the regular comic book days, if you think about it. Maybe this is a good test to see if I'm cut out to do comic books again. But to do 4 highly detailed pages per week on top of my regular school schedule, on top of my family responsibilities, and on top of my YouTube responsibilities, plus all the other things I have going on. So it's not an easy task, but when you break it down, the way I've broken it down, it's actually manageable. So this is my schedule for the piece to come out. Now, as you can tell, I allotted about 2 weeks per piece. 2 weeks per piece, meaning 4 pages per week to get this done. Now, somebody on Facebook actually asked me, like, why does the actual order seem kind of random when it actually comes to the actual piece itself? And that's there for a reason. It's an up, down type system. I did up, down, up, down, up, down was mainly because of the way the entire piece will look. I wanted to have all the actors featured across the top of this particular piece. Well, the main actors from the original trilogy as well as the prequels, okay? Now, for Rogue One and Force Awakens, of course I'll have them, but they will be at the bottom. But I wanted really prominent on the top. Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, the whiny kid, Hayden Christensen across the top, along with Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, of course. You know, I wanted them to be really featured in this piece, and I thought by putting 3 next to 4, we get the best of all the worlds all together. So whenever I'm doing a piece like this, I always want to start out with, you know, what stands out, and of course that is the likenesses of the original actors. So usually I have a bunch of photos that are up on my monitor, and then I just go to town with the blue pencil. And again, a lot of the times I erase a lot, and you know, because those have to be right. Those have to be right. That's why I pay particular detail to the actual blue line before I get into ink when it comes to the actual faces of the actors, because if they don't look like the actors, you know, that's gonna really ruin this piece if it just does not look like the particular actors. So I have to take careful care whenever I'm trying to do the likenesses. Now here's the thing with things like Yoda and even Darth Sidious, there's a little bit more leeway into that, because you know, what makes Yoda Yoda, you know, of course the shape has to be correct and everything, but there's a lot going on, a lot of detail in there, so I didn't really have to lay him out as much. You know, I just did a quick sketch and actually went into it, because pretty much you have a little bit more leeway when it comes to puppets themselves. And even Darth Sidious, because he's more known for the little, you know, the indentations in his face and all, you know, the dark eyes and then all the wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. So he wasn't as important, or I felt more confident in drawing them than I did actually drawing, you know, Anakin and like Natalie Portman and who's the other whiny guy? Hayden Christensen, right? And of course Ewan McGregor, getting them right. They had to be right. They had to be right. Samuel L. Jackson, they had to be right, or this piece goes right down the drain. It's not, you know, or else it'll just be like a regular piece. So I spent a lot of time trying to get those right. And when it comes to the actual ships themselves, one thing about Revenge of the Sith is that it has one of the best space battles there is right now in Star Wars. You know, right at the beginning, the Battle of Coruscant, so I wanted those ships to be there. Also, it's a nice contrast to the ships that will be shown that are in the New Hope piece, right? So drawing the Invisible Hand and all the other corresponding ships there. So I drew in all the major ships that I thought should be in there. But I also left a little bit of room for leeway once I fill in the rest of the scenes. If there's more room, I might actually go back and add more ships. That's when I'm gonna add the explosions, because we need to see that they're actually fighting. We need to see the actual battle themselves. So that's why I left a little bit of room in there to add more if necessary, but at the same time I wanted to make sure there was enough space for all of the corresponding scenes. In terms of the amount of work that I did this week, I am, you know, it's more than more work I've done in a week in a while. However, it is not, I wanted to do more than what I did so far. I'm hoping by the next episode this will be done. This particular piece will be done, and it'll be ready to show you guys. But there's still a ton of work to do. Again, planning every single day, making sure I wake up at the right times and working as hard as humanly possible. Because I'll admit to you guys, I'm human. I'm just like you. Of course there are times I just don't want to draw. Of course there are times I'm struggling. I don't know, you know, exactly how things are going. I don't like exactly how things are looking. There are times when I'm just there and I'm just kind of staring off into space and thinking like I should be drawing right now, but then it's hard for me to put pencil to paper. I think we all have those kind of lapses. That's happened to me a lot this particular week. I wish there was a way you could just press the on button, you know, press that button and then roll right back on. But sometimes there's not, and sometimes you just gotta push through. One great thing about this, and one great thing that does inspire me, is all the great feedback that I've gotten from all of you, everyone who follows me on Facebook and all my other social media, encouraging me, you know, telling me that I could do it, and really that does mean a lot, and you guys are encouraging me more than you ever know. So if there's anything that this video does accomplish, it is me saying thank you to all of you for the encouragement, and please keep encouraging me to get this done. I know it's gonna be so worth it at the end of the day, with all the great feedback I just got for one piece, and I can imagine what's gonna happen if I have all 8 interconnected, all completed. We'll see what happens. But I really appreciate each and every one of you for following along, and it really means so much to me. Thank you guys for following along, and I hope you enjoy the new format of this particular video, because I thought to myself, before I was doing it interview style, I actually had an interviewer with me. Maybe I'll shoot a documentary on this one of these days, but at the same time, I want to talk directly to you guys. So for this new year, this is my new format for these particular videos, because it's me and you. It's me and you right now. I'm gonna need your help. So thank you for the help. Thank you for all your inspiration. I really appreciate that. My name is James. I'm the box office artist. I'll see you guys next time.